Tell you, I am so thankful California is not an open carry state. Because I can tell you the fear of coming out in an open carry state is like no fear I've ever encountered, ever. And I've done a lot of really crazy and stupid stuff. I knew I was different when I was in preschool. I liked to play with girls' toys, I liked to play with the dress-up clothes that were girls, not boys. But my parents didn't have the vocabulary to describe what was going on. They didn't have any knowledge of what to call what was going on with me. And this was back in the 80s. So things are very new. The words used were slurs. And we were looked down upon. So I've lived my life in fear for a very long time. And in the summer of 2021, I said no. I was on the verge of dying, literally. I was pre-stroke, and my doctors couldn't really figure out what was going on with me. There was one lifestyle issue, I was drinking a little bit too much. We addressed that, but I was still dying. And I finally was like, you know what, screw it. I'm coming out. I'm gonna do it. And I first had to come out to my wife, and that was really hard because we had been together for 9 years, almost 9 years at that point. And it's really difficult to think about when you've been with somebody that long, what's the reaction going to be? And thankfully, we were able to work things out, we were able to talk about it, we were able to come up with that vocabulary. And I was able to describe and explain things to her in a way that she understood. And I'm so thankful for our community for coming up with that vocabulary, and so that we can actually describe these things in a meaningful way. Coming out saved my life. My doctor literally said once I started HRT, most of my health issues went away. And you think about the stress that you go through hiding. You think about just the disorders that you can go through, and a lot of mine were cardiovascular and my body degrading. I was actually at the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to give up at 50. I'm just going to call it. And now I'm a new lease on life. We moved down here into healthcare, where I feel like I can be way more useful than being in IT. And I think that's important for all of us to understand, and I wish that we could all understand this, that our country, our world could understand this more. To go back to coming out, for some people we only have to come out to a loved one or a family. At the time I was actually on the city council, so I not only had to come out to my family, I had to come out on public record. And that's really scary, especially when you live in a town where most of the people are red, they're Republican. And as scary as it was, I had a lot of support on the council. We had a really good progressive council at that point. So there was a lot of support, and that made it easy. Coming down here made life even easier because it's so open. And my heart breaks every time I talk to a friend that's in one of these states with these laws getting passed that are discriminatory against them, that are killing them. And I just don't know what else I can do other than to scream into the ether or organize a rally. We had a wonderful rally tonight. So many people came out right before this event. And thank everybody that did, because even though we're not in an open carry state, that is still really scary. People can still come out and cause violence to us. And thankfully, the worst thing we had to deal with were some people flipping us off and one person in a diesel truck going home, and that was it. Everything else was so positive and so amazing. So I want to thank you for creating such a welcoming community that my wife and I came into and have adopted you as our new family, whether you want to or not. And I really hope that